to help raise the rate of home ownership for 75% for all. Some of the things we're offering is credit remediation, micro mortgage financing, down payment assisted, credit builder assisted, and agent matching. Tonight's is the lending process with our guest speaker, Ms. Debra. But before we get started, we're gonna get our sister company, Debt Cleanse manager, Ms. Crystal Young, to go ahead and give you guys a little more information about what Debt Cleanse do. So without further ado, Ms. Young.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. I am out and about. So if you can't see me, I'm here. I am Crystal Young. I am the member success and distribution manager of Debt Cleanse. Just a little bit about Debt Cleanse. We are the sister company of MTTO. The mission that we have at Debt Cleanse is to basically help America break free of debt. We really look to empower our members to liberate themselves and live the lives that you choose rather than the ones that we know that our debt can dictate. A way that we're doing this, Debt Cleanse is a legal services plan. We give you access to credit tools and legal support. Credit tools are basically resources that you use to monitor your credit. And we have a variety of memberships at Debt Cleanse, and these memberships range that can benefit you in your household for a variety of prices. Some of those credit tools that we have for you are monthly consultations with our consumer protection attorney. So we do have the hammer of the attorney within Debt Cleanse. We also offer a no recovery, no fee, and legal representation for violations. This means the violations that are found by our attorneys. Many matters are handled out of pocket with no expense. We do have what we call a manual dispute letter builder. So we do dispute by letter and by phone. We give you that three bureau report scores that are monthly for you. We have a debt analysis tool. This let you know what is hurting your credit negatively, and we'll look at how that is impacting your score. We also have a great tool called the Credit Score Simulator. So this simulator shows you how you will make different choices in your life, like buying a home, purchasing a house, and how that would directly impact your credit. We also have the personalized score tracker, which gives you the your scores in real time. We have dark web monitoring. With the increase in people just taking out loans and identity theft, we do have identity theft protection and things of that sort. Now, the legal support, this is a big part of Debt Cleanse. We do have consumer protection attorneys. These attorneys are able to look through your credit score, find violations that these creditors have within your report, and they're able to quarterback what we call a dispute process. That process is handled within the member specialist side of things, where we'll go through your credit report and dispute those things that are on your credit report that just shouldn't be there. Once that happens, if it is not removed within the time frame that it should be, our attorneys will take you into what we call litigation, which is basically a legal process. So that's the tools that Debt Cleanse has for you. We have credit tools, and we also offer legal support.
Thank you so much, Ms. Crystal. We do have a question here, and
Yes,
please
ma'am.
feel free to ask your questions. We do have a question, which is, what is the monthly cost of your services?
Yes, so we have a variety of packages. We have the bronze, silver, and gold package. The lowest package starts at $59.95. Our silver is at $79.95, and the gold is at $99.95.
Thank you so much, Ms. Crystal, for that and all that great information you gave us. Does anyone else have any more questions to ask Ms. Crystal?
Hi, it's Debbie. I have a question.
Hi, Debbie.
Didn't they change the rules as far as collections, putting collections, medical collections on your credit?
You said, did they change the rules?
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
so
medical collections.
I'm not for sure about the rules exactly, but we've had members that have medical collections on their report, and we've had to dispute them, and they have been removed. So because that is considered a violation, Debbie, if it is there and it should not be there, once the credit bureau reviews that, they're able to get that removed. So we have had medical expenses or medical debt removed from the credit report due to violation. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, because I thought that because I had a collection on my credit and it was for a medical, and I was going to negotiate to pay it, but then it was,
Okay.
I don't know what happened. My credit was reran and it was gone and I didn't have to pay it. I mean, like, it's completely gone.
So that's good.
It's real good.
Yes. We have, because we do have the legal support, our attorneys are able to identify those things that shouldn't be on the report, like I said earlier, and they go into dispute. And if there's not, if it's not removed from the report, they do go into litigation.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, one other question. Can I ask you something else?
I'm sorry, I want
Yes.
to put some information in the chat about that for people to do some research. And also they can do research on the fair housing credit, law. I'm gonna pull that up too as well, just so they can learn more about it.
Thank you, Ms. Wheatley.
Yes, and Miss Deborah, you have one more question?
Yeah, I was gonna ask a question as far as if people have judgments, you can help them to get the paperwork, because sometimes they don't even know that they have a judgment against them, and then they can't find the creditor or the person who put the judgment on them.
That is correct. So our system allows you to upload any type of legal documents that you have, because our attorneys, they are consumer protection attorneys, so they're able to look at these documents and go into any type of court cases that may come from this. So we have many cases that there are lawsuits that can come from your credit, like judgments, liens, foreclosures. It's a very big range, and it ranges from case to case. So anything with a court on it, any legal document, we're able to get that over to our attorneys for them to assess it.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Young. I have one more question for you. What's a judgment?
Miss Young, you still with us?
I
Okay,
wonder.
I do apologize, you guys, technical difficulties. But as soon as she gets back on the line, we can definitely answer that question for you. But thank you so much for that information, Miss Young. If anyone is interested in the program, please put your information in the chat box and we will get with you first thing tomorrow morning to get you connected
Hello.
to our sister company, Debt Cleanse.
Okay,
Miss
just
Young,
wanted
you're
to
back?
add to that real quick.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry, guys. I'm actually outside, so my connection is like not the best right now in this car. Can you repeat anything that was said while I wasn't?
Yes.
Yes, they had a question for you, which is, what is a judgment?
Oh, so a judgment is considered anything. It's a court decision. So anything a court decision pertaining to you. That's all it is. Whatever that may be, a judgment can be anything. So it's a court decision that's pertaining to you. And the court will provide an explanation of why they have that against you.
Can you explain to them how it affects if you try to get a mortgage, like collections? In most cases, especially medical, in most cases now, there's different scenarios that you don't have to pay those off, but it's different with a judgment. Did you want to explain that to them?
Right. So that will come from our legal side. I would not be able to give you that particular information. But our attorney team can give you that. That will come from the legal side as how that would affect them.
Okay, so, well, with the mortgage, you would not be able to close on any piece of property, a mortgage, a house, residential, with a judgment filed against you, because it shows that that's a lien against you. So, the judgment would have to be paid, and you'd have to have a release of judgment, before you would be able to close on a mortgage if you were, out shopping and wanted to put an offer on a house and get a mortgage. You can't have any judgments against you.
Yeah. And I would say, Debbie, too, even from just renting only, judgments are not good on your report at all.
Right. Right. They need to be paid off.
Yeah. They need to either be paid or removed, however that plays out for you.
Yeah, and what happens is sometimes when you pay off that judgment, usually they send you the release, but they do not record it. That's up to the person who had the judgment against them to record that judgment to show that it's been paid in full. Otherwise, it's going to stay on your credit forever until you record it.
Wow, thank you so much for that great information, Miss Deborah, and also Miss Young, Miss Crystal Young. Thank you so much for joining us here on
Yes,
Wealthy
ma'am.
Wednesday. We really appreciate you coming and sharing that information on our Deborah Mediation side of My Turn to Own. Again, if you would like to join us or if you would like to get more information, please put your information, your name, and phone number in the chat box so we can reach out to you and let you know more about that program. So thank you so much again. And without further ado, we're going to get to our guest speaker, Miss Deborah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Debra Schlager. I work for Associated Bank. I've been on, some of you, I see you've been on here usually every Wednesday. So we're going to have, please ask questions. Let's get this clear right now. Ask whatever questions. Don't wait till the end because you might forget. Whatever questions you have on credit, interest rates, how the market is, savings, whatever you have, those questions, I would be more than happy to help you. Free money, grant money, there's money available to purchase a home. The biggest obstacle is not so much the money that you need for a down payment and your savings. It is your credit score. You have to have a credit score in order to get any grant funds or first-time home buyer programs. You need to have a credit score of at least a 640. And it's the middle score. So you get 3 scores when we do a soft credit pull. And the difference between a soft credit pull, if for some of you who don't know, and the regular credit pull when you go mortgage shopping, the soft credit pull, nobody can see that. So they don't know that your credit was pulled, which is the best way, because now we can look at that soft credit report and we can say, okay, this is what you need to do. You might have a credit card that you have a limit of $1,000, but you owe $750. If you pay that credit card down, then your score can go up. So by us doing a soft pull and looking at the credit and then advising you how we can increase your score in order to help you to get a mortgage, that is the best way. Because if you start mortgage shopping and every place is going to tell you, well, we need to pull your credit. No, they don't. Because if you know or have an idea what your score is, they can work off of that. So the more times you have your score pulled, it's going to eventually bring your score down, and that will hurt you as far as trying to obtain a mortgage. Now, like I said, there's free money out there. There's grant programs. The city of Chicago has a program called MMRP, Micro Market Recovery Program. It's a $15,000 grant. There's designated areas. There's 10, Nicole is right, for MMRP.
There's 11. Now we moved into South Shore.
Okay, so it's 11 areas. But also the areas are not, it's not like Austin. It's not the whole Austin area. It's only certain blocks, certain streets in the designated areas where you can get this $15,000. And it's for 1 to 4 unit properties. And you can get it either a conventional mortgage or an FHA, which is a government insured loan. And we can also layer the money. So if you get the $15,000 from MMRP, my bank, I have a $4,000 grant. That's $19,000. If you get the $15,000 and my $4,000, you need $1,000 of your own money as the earnest money and as your down payment to obtain this grant. Also, there's still money available with the Federal Home Loan Bank. Hello. Also, there's more money available with the Federal Home Loan Bank. It's called DPP, Down Payment Plus. It is, you get up to $6,000. Now, I know there's a couple of people that are on here that I've done mortgages for or are doing mortgages for. What my bank does with that $6,000 grant, it's income, there's income limits on it. It's 80% of the median income, but I have $4,000 free. We will only give you $3,000 instead of the $6,000 if you qualify for the Federal Home Loan Grant. So that's $7,000 plus I have another $500 to give towards closing costs. I know some people say, well, I'll go to a bank that gives us $6,000, the total amount of the Federal Home Loan Grant. But if you look at it, you're only getting $6,000. I'm giving you $7,500. So $1,500 is more money than $6,000. Let's see.
Okay, it looks like we do have a question here. Thank you for that information. We have a question from Miss Whitney. Miss Whitney also has her hand raised. So can you unmute yourself, please?
Hey, how y'all doing? Quick question for the grant you was talking about, the $15,000 grant as well as the grant that your bank offered. I know some banks have requirements, whereas you have to stay in the unit for like a certain amount of time, because you said it is available for units between 1 to 4 units, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so for example, I was awarded all the grants. What would be my requirements to keep the grant? Would I have to stay in one of the units for like 10 years?
No. You would have to stay. So the $4,000 grant that my bank gives that we have at Associated, it's forgiven at closing. So the $4,000 is free, forgiven at closing, no lien on your property. The MMRP grant of $15,000 plus the Federal Home Loan Grant, and really there's a couple other grants out there. Almost any other grant, you have to keep the property for 5 years. You have to keep it for 5 years. Now, if you were to sell it, you're not going to pay back the whole $15,000 or whatever the other amount that you get on the other grants. They're gonna figure how many years you've paid in, and then you would owe them the difference.
Yeah, okay, so that's one of my goals. I wouldn't mind staying in the unit for 5 years. That's fine. But I know, like, I was trying to go through the NACA program, and NACA was like,
good luck.
they do. Yeah, see, I know. That's why I stopped messing with them, and I did with my turn on now. They were saying, okay, we do help you with all these programs. However, if we help you get a multi-family unit, you have to stay there. And if you decide to move out, we're going to fine you on top of that loan and grant we gave you. So
that's because NACA does a different program. That's why their program is entirely different. And wasn't it 10 years with NACA?
Oh, they were saying, like, they said I had to stay there the full duration of the loan.
Right, because they have a different kind. No, almost all the other loans that of the grants that they give, they're for 5 years.
Okay. Thank you. I stick with my turn on. Thank you.
And you asked about a 2 to 3 unit building. Let me tell you how it works with multifamily also. So if you were to buy a single family home, the minimum that you can put down on a single family is 3% down payment. And I have a program with 3% down, no private mortgage insurance. And private mortgage insurance, for those who don't know, It's an insurance that the bank charges you or the mortgage broker, whoever you go through, if you don't have a 20% down payment, because it protects us in case you defaulted and went into foreclosure on your mortgage. It continues to pay the mortgage while you go through the foreclosure process. So ours is 3% down on a single family home, no PMI. We also have the program for a 2-unit, and it's 5% down payment, no PMI. Now, once you get into 3 and 4 unit buildings, the minimum you can put down is 3.5%, but you have to go FHA. So FHA is a government insured loan. You have to pay private mortgage insurance. They collect monthly on it. Plus then they charge you a certain percentage up front for the full 30 years, and it gets added onto your principal. Now, FHA is a great tool if you've had a bankruptcy in the last 4 years, or you want to buy 3 or 4 unit building. And the reason why is if you had a bankruptcy in the last 4 years, you cannot obtain a conventional mortgage. You have to go FHA. And your bankruptcy has to be completely discharged for 2 years in order to go FHA. Let's see, any questions on that? No. Okay, let's see, what else should we talk about? Do you want me to talk about the Section 8 voucher program?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I know some people, Nicole is on this call. Nicole and I are on the list with the City of Chicago, the CHA Choose to Own program. Now, the CHA has 2 programs when you have a Section 8 voucher, when you're a renter, in order to go from renting into owning. The other program is suburban Cook County, and we are not approved yet to do that program. So we can only do the voucher program with the CHA Choose to Own. That's the only one that we can work with at this point. Now, you have to take a class. You have to contact the CHA, and we can put their information in here, who you would contact. Jimmy Stewart is the manager, and Sharnice Chapman will put their information. You have to go through a class. There are requirements in order to even get into this program to qualify from going from a renter to a buyer. So that amount of the voucher, instead of going towards your rent, it will now go towards your mortgage. But again, you have to meet the requirements. You have to have a 640 credit score. They're going to make sure that you have $3,000 in a savings account, because you need that money for a home inspection, because regardless that the CHA does their own inspection on the properties, you still have to do a home inspection. It is a requirement when you buy with the CHA. And you also need money for closing costs and for earnest money, because any property that you write a contract on, they're going to ask you for at least $1,000 earnest money, which that shows that you, in good faith, that they take the house off the market. They don't show it to anyone else. You sign a contract. It's good faith that you're going to buy that property. So you have to complete a class and give all your paperwork to the CHA. If you're on SSI, disability income, you still can qualify. If you're on Social Security, you still can qualify. The only way that you can't qualify for CHA or really any other mortgage is if you are on unemployment, and not unemployment as far as seasonal. If you just don't work and you're on unemployment income, we cannot get a mortgage for you. The only way we can use unemployment is if you have a seasonal job, like in the wintertime. If you do landscaping or construction and there's snow, well, of course you can't work outside. And we can show that this is what you do for the last 2 years and you've been collecting it. That's the only way that we can use unemployment.
And you know what, Deb, I want to add to that real quick too. First, I want to thank everyone for joining the call tonight. It is super exciting every single time that I see an individual with the desire in their heart to learn about, purchasing property, becoming a homeowner, or maybe even now preparing to buy a multi-unit. the My Turn to Own organization has a specific focus on helping families to be able to understand the importance of owning real estate. And with real estate being 95%, and 95% of every wealthy person owns real estate for a particular reason. There's so many wonderful attributes to owning real estate, and I'm gonna talk about them in just a little bit. But on the program, every voucher holder that's a part of the Chicago Housing Authority CTO program has the ability to go through the home ownership program, right? I want to just talk about that for a minute, because consistently when I talk to people who are renters that are voucher, they do not know the powerful impact that they can make by turning their rental voucher into home ownership. And that is really regardless of their income. I want to give you some specific scenarios of some of the families that Deb and I was able to help. People that were, like she said, on SSI. I have a lady right now. She was 66 years old, had never owned a property a day in her life, got into the program, worked to make sure that her credit score got to where it needed to be, saved up her money, and we were able to get her a beautiful home off of East Avenue, like right on the border of Indiana and Chicago. And that woman could not be happier. She is going to be leaving a legacy of love for her children and her children's children. She has somewhere now that she lives in as an investment that she has assistance from. So CHA still pays the bulk of her mortgage for a time period. And I think in her case, because she was on SSI, she actually gets the whole 30 years. And every scenario is something different depending on your situation. But the fact of the matter is, it's an amazing, magnificent program that is underutilized. Why am I saying it's underutilized? Today, we only have 750 people that have taken advantage of something like this. 750 people with the thousands and thousands and thousands of voucher holders that are privileged to have that. So I encourage individuals that, are in the process of, if you have a voucher, turn your voucher into a home ownership ticket. Turn it into a new opportunity. Turn it into something that has the ability to turn generations of your families up, I'm going to say line of poverty, because when we don't own real estate, we're missing out on a big piece of the riches of the land. So it's the reason why it says go up at once and possess a piece of the land. That was not just for wealthy individuals. That's for people that's in the manifestation of being wealthy too, because they own real estate. I want to give you all a picture of what real estate means to me. I purchased my first property when I was 22 years old at 7955 South Coles. My mortgage was $538. I got the property, did a little bit of work to it, and I rented upstairs for $800. I had a couple sleeping rooms in the basement too, and a coin washer dryer. I was making very good money off of that property, and I was living rent-free. So I went from paying out $750, $800 a month in rent to now being a rent collector in a nice 2-flat. That was an honor, a privilege. I was making over $100 and some a month just in washing, because I paid to wash as well as my other way of saving. And then the people in the building paid to wash. It was really, truly an amazing business. Yes, I was a business owner. The moment that I purchased that building, I became an entrepreneur, owning and operating my own business that I resided in. And every single mortgage payment was coming from the hands of someone else into mine, into the mortgage, and the remainder into my bank account, where I was able to save that money and then build up enough money to buy the next building, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one. I literally have one of my CTO clients who got out of the program completely, got a home and got another 2 flat, was blessed beyond his imagination. So many miracles manifest, but sometimes I talk to people and they have such a, they don't understand the process. And so they have negative energy about going through it. They don't see the infinite possibilities that exist for them to be able to actually change the trajectory of life for their generations of family to come. Could you imagine when you own something that your sister, your brother, your cousin, your best friend, everyone is going to have that same desire, because they're going to look at you and say, if she did it or if he did it, I can do it too. So you start this spiral of change that is so positive to help people elevate their conscious level so that we all win together. That's what that's about. That's what purchasing real estate is about. Taking your life and your family's life and everyone else who put their eyes on your life to the next level by encouraging them that this is possible. I was speaking to a young lady who has a CHA voucher, and I was telling her about the program. And I promise you, the conversation went like this. I'm giving her one benefit. She's telling me, oh, I can't do that because this. And I tell another benefit, and she says, and I can't do that because of this. I mean, she was absolutely not going to be able to do any of it. You want to know why? She spoke it into existence every minute, every second. All she kept doing was telling me why she could not do it. But the biggest issue was this. She feared losing her voucher security in rental. So you would not have it where they can help you pay possibly a 15 or 30-year mortgage, and you rely upon the possibilities of you having a rental voucher, and you're too afraid to not get a home where there's so many resources to help homeowners versus rental. We went back and forth, but at the end of the line, it ultimately ended with her just saying, you know what, I just fear this process. And I'm like, look, I am not saying that this is a complete walk in the park. But what I am saying is that when you take one step towards it, it tends to take 2 or 3 steps towards you. And then what ends up happening is the end goal is that you're stepping into a door with the key, turning it, because it's your turn to own. It's your turn to have your own home. And it's not like a rental. It's so different. You got rules and regulations and stipulations that you have to follow. Mm-hmm. And in your house, it's your place, something that you can recreate, redesign, just change it up, change it around, give it your own special everything. Walk into your own backyard with your lawn furniture, with your lights hanging, go into your own garbage can out in the back saying this is my city of Chicago garbage can with my address on it, okay?
Hey, Ms. Wheatley.
Yes.
When I tell and everything you're saying is right on, I tell people when you get that first one, just get that first one under your belt. It's so addictive. And it's kind of like, it's 2 things that remind me of purchasing a property, and that's reading the Bible and working out. When you start reading the Bible and getting into it and start working out and get to it, you say to yourself, what kept me from working out so long? This feels good. It's the same way when you purchase your first property, you maintain it. That going through the process that first time is going to be rocky, but you have to keep the faith. I agree wholeheartedly, Ms. Wheatley.
Mr. Don Davis, you are right on point, because it's 100% the truth. And I think that, I feel privileged to be on the call today. I'm so very clear about the mission of this organization. And that's why I'm so a part of the work that they're doing, because we've been doing this for years, trying to get people to move through the fear and replace the fear with faith, so that they don't have to be left behind and having the privilege of saying, this is mine. You see, I love the name that these gentlemen came up with for this effort. I really do. It's something so personal about it. Say it's my turn to own. Like way too often we've been left behind. We have not been people who have risen to the top and have had the fruits of our labor to pay off by walking into a home, our own condo, or our own building. And now times are changing and opportunity presents itself to do it. But if you keep the fear in the heart instead of the faith, then it will allow you to walk away from this great destiny that's ahead for you, that offers so much. And so I encourage you, whether you're a part of the Chicago Housing CTO program, Deb and I specialize in it. It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. I want you to understand this. When I added real estate to our portfolio of our business, it was because way too often people that may have gotten approved for a lower amount, maybe like, 100,000, 80,000, somewhere in there, that person deserves to have a home too. That person should have a house also. And so some people wasn't getting them to the finish line. But me and my entire team got our license and said, we will leave no person behind that have a desire in their heart and that will not quit to move forward through this process to ensure their success in becoming a homeowner. And it was the best thing that we've ever done. I have gone and helped hundreds of people now walk into a home. And most of them, I would say 75% of them or more, was walking through this process shaking. But they still did it, even though they were afraid. I see some people's names on here. I remember those names because they have been on before. And I just want to give you a specific message to you. If you do have a barrier on your credit, please do not let that distract you or deter you. For every single situation, there is a resolution waiting on you. You have to believe that that will occur, that you will be able to break through whatever that barrier it is that appears to be showing itself, and you cannot give up because it's there. You got to know that it's going to work out in your favor. I don't care if it's a 3-month projection, 6 month, a year and a half. It doesn't matter. You got to get it in your heart knowing that one day I'm about to own this home. You're here for a great reason. You're here for a purpose. You know you want this or else you wouldn't be here right now. So you have to go into this with a mindset that I will let nothing stop me. I will not let go, and I will never, ever, ever quit. It's just that simple. Some things in life are worth fighting for, especially when you have a team of experts that come into here. And I want to address a couple of things too for the My Turn to Own organization. They work without ceasing to do all these classes, to go out, to go get funding, to do every single thing that they do. And then someone will come out and say, oh, you know what, I'm going to use my cousin Ray to do my loan. And I'm going to use cousin Shanikawa to do the real estate. When you have a team of experts that are working with you and working on your side, they have aligned up every process for you. They've aligned lending opportunities for you to have a much smoother transition and being able to get a loan. They have a HUD counseling organization that's established to help you get through your barriers with a cheerleader on your side, champion you. And they have a full real estate development team to send you through experts in the industry that will help you find the perfect property at the perfect price that's in perfectly divine order for you. Going through this commitment is a two-way process. They're committed to you. Try to be committed to the process that they lined out, because they got people who they know will have your back from the beginning to the end, and who will have your best interest in heart to ensure your success through this process. Does that make sense? Everybody feeling me on this? Because I know I can keep going on.
Listen,
I'm
I'm tell you, I think, Miss Wheatley, you hitting it on the head. One thing that is very hurtful is the people that we have vetted and we have chosen were not by accident or mistake. The part that people make the biggest mistake is when they try to do their own thing and end up messing up. And I don't get me wrong. I understand everybody say, girl, I could get you a house way better than the house that they got you. I could get you grants way better than the grants they got you. I could get you, this, that, and other way better. There's this platform is a well-oiled machine where we know if Miss Wheatley or Miss Marty Black or whomever we have on our team, we know they can get you to the finish line. But not just that, they're not going to get you properties or show you properties as though they're just trying to close a deal and make a profit. They're trying to show you property as though you're an investor, making sure that you have equity in these properties. So when you purchase it, it's the right property. They're not.
Hey, Don, we lost you there. So he was really just emphasizing the importance that they put trained, dedicated individuals that they are highly connected to and know that will work for the best interest of their clients to ensure their success. So it's a partnership.
Nicole?
Go through the whole process with the team in place. Go ahead, Deb.
I was also going to say, in regard to the voucher program, they have a specific list. So when you work with the CHA, the choose to own, and you go from renting to owning, they have a specific list of real estate agents and loan officers and banks that are on their approved list that know what is needed. That's why you can't just pick any realtor, because it's very tough. And what we run into, it's a very sad situation when we take our Section 8, when Nicole takes them out to show them properties, and we have to tell them, which we don't anymore, that the borrower is a choose to own borrower, because they're prejudiced and they won't sign. There might be multiple offers. Nicole and I have had them, and our client won out on all the multiple offers. And the minute you say, okay, well, you have to sign this rider, which goes along with the contract, they come back and find a reason to get out of the contract. Correct, Nicole?
100% correct. But we found every creative way. And we're also on several different organizations working to implement change in it. So we have found every creative way to ensure that we assist families and help them through this process. And we removed a lot of the barriers through every legal process that we could to ensure that people are not being prejudiced against our clients. And I will tell you, it is a lot of additional work on our end. Deb and I could easily go out and only work with clients that's $500,000 and above, because we have access to that clientele. But that is just not our 100% mission. Not to say that we don't get clients in that category here and there, but we spend most of our time focusing on helping families who we know need to be able to understand the importance of owning, so we can change how life will be for so many more people coming up. I already know my 29-year-old daughter, I'm sorry, I'm giving her 2 years above where she is. Our 27-year-old daughter, she just purchased, and Deb got her approved, her 2-flat in the beginning of this year. My son, he's 10 years old. We already building a fund and making him work and everything else to contribute to it for him to own a property as well. They will possess a piece of the land. They will own. They will understand what it takes to own, manage, and operate those things. And my prayer is that they will teach their children how to do it too.
Wow, thank you so much, Miss Wheatley. Such a powerful, powerful presentation. Thank you, Deborah, as well. We do have a hand up here, Miss Tracy Gibson Jackson. Please unmute yourself.
Sure. Thank you, ladies. That was such good information. I just have a couple quick things. Miss Nicole, you're right. Like, it's scary. And I think Miss Whitney, you put in the chat, it's scary. Like, it is. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared every day. I'm closing on July 26th. However, I will say ... My turn on, literally somebody from that organization is calling me, checking in with me, email. So I feel okay. Like, the scare is still there, but I feel supported. And I'm a person, I ask a lot of questions because I just like clarity. I like to know what's in front of me. But I'm saying this to say that you have the support. Like, Marty, like, I'm gonna put you on blast, Marty. Like, a couple of days ago, I literally had a freak out moment because I was like, papers and signing, like, I'm getting closer. So I'm getting more nervous in a good way because it's actually happening. I'm about to own my home. So it's exciting. And My Turn to Own gives you the support. And Ms. Deborah, I don't think I ever told you, Deb, but Deb is good. I went to different lenders, and I'm not gonna say the bank's name, but one lender was like, I can't get you approved. And I was like, huh? Like, 3 other banks approved me. And it's like, well, I don't know how, they must have lied. But I will say, Deb, you know what I mean? And she got me the most. So to Don's point, the folks at My Turn to Own, they are like literally the top of the line experts. They know what they're doing. At first I was like, I don't know anything, but like when you get into this program, you have support. And for me, I want to be aligned with every event they have, I'm coming to, I'm soaking it up. I bring my son because this is stuff that I didn't know, but he's learning. We're learning together. So for all of y'all on this call who are scared, it's okay. I'm scared too. I'm literally, I was shaking. I got like papers today, and every time I read something, but in a good way, because I know that when I look at my 21-year-old son, my 24-year-old, we're going to have the keys to our house in a couple of weeks. So that is what sustains me. So thank you. And don't be scared. My Turn to Own's got your back. Like, seriously.
Come on now, Tracy, girl, I'm about to go run around the block.
Tracy
and
makes
come
me
back
so
here.
emotional.
I want to give a special thank you to Marty too. Marty has been kicking butt and taking names, helping out in every way possible. I appreciate you, darling. If you're still there, you're amazing.
No, I'm here. I appreciate all of you guys. Tracy, we talk all the time. It's a joy to work with My Turn to Own. You, Nicole, you already know, and then Tracy, of course, you know, it's just always a pleasure.
It is truly that we have a dream team in place.
Yeah,
we really do. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Yes, we do.
I'm gonna tell everybody, if you're on this call, it's a shame that you don't share this information with a family or a friend, because the hardest part of getting in the real estate industry is connecting with somebody that you can trust, because there's so many individuals out here that will truly burn you. They will, you'll give them the deposit to do a rehab and they'll disappear on you. You will, I mean, the list goes on, and it's very hurtful, and it's frustrating to the point where you just quit and walk away. But it's good that you have a community of individuals, of like-minded individuals that have been vetted in the industry for years. So I really do tell you, don't take advantage of this by yourself. Like, you really need to reach out to a family member or a friend and get them involved. If not, at least just jump on the call. I have Miss Crystal from Debt Cleanse. You still on the line, Miss Crystal? I don't know if she's on it, but that's another entity that
I'm here.
Okay, cool. That's another entity that is very important for everyone to work on, is your credit. Not only your credit, get your friends involved, your cousins involved, because everybody needs to win. I heard the young lady prior to talking about her son, how in all actuality, your friends are watching you, your family are watching you, your children are watching you. Ms. Crystal, can you tell us a little bit about the importance of debt cleanse and making sure your credit is where it needs to be to position you to purchase a home?
Yeah, so I believe that we've all been talking about just the fear factor of it. When you go through the MTTO process, you'll know that credit is one of the biggest factors of purchasing your home. You have to, I believe it is a 620 or better. Don, correct me if I'm wrong.
640.
No, you're right, 620. But then again, you want 640 that'll open you up to get some grants. So 620 and better to get you those, decent interest rates, and then 640 to get those IDA grants and all those fancy grants that Ms. Debra be giving away.
Yeah, so you need to make sure that your credit is up to par. And one of the great things that debt cleanse provide, like I said earlier, is credit monitoring. So making sure that you're making the right choices as you're in the process of purchasing your home. So you're not making, going to buy a vehicle while you're in this process, which would greatly impact your credit. Not saying that it's a bad choice in life, but just not a great choice while you're making such a decision, So you'll see how that impacts your score, and just monitoring your credit over this time period and just for future financial management. So it's extremely important.
Sounds good. Before we close, Miss Wheatley, you have an event coming up. I know we got a few minutes left. Can we talk about that event a little bit?
Absolutely. So we're going to be doing a housing trolley tour. And we're going to be taking everyone. It's all complimentary. It is Saturday, August the 6th. And let me see, I got the registration link. Let me throw the registration link in here. Let me tell you, this one is going to be a very important meeting. We're going to be meeting from 10 to 1. First, you're going to hear all the benefits of owning and operating real estate. So you can start really formulating in your mind what it is that you desire to do with real estate. How? What is the best thing for you? A young lady that had been on the calls told me about their going through this process. And they said, you know what? I've decided that I'm going to buy a condo. And she was so specific. She said, I want a condo that there's nothing to stop me from being able to Airbnb it. Because she kept coming to here to learn. Then she was able to formulate an idea for what she wanted to do. So coming out to these trainings and experiencing the trolley tours to see some neighborhoods that you wouldn't normally just think, oh, I might want to move here. Some of these neighborhoods are amazing. Please, the link is out there. RSVP today. We're going to have a good time. You're going to eat good. You're going to learn. You're going to be elevated to the next level and be able to experience neighborhoods in a great way. Okay. So please come out to that housing trolley tour. Everything is free.
That sounds good. Listen, that free is for me, but more than anything, I look forward to learning good information, building strong relationships, and also you have the best resources there as well. We're going to wrap up. Ms. Deb, Ms. Wheatley, did you want to say anything in closing?
The only thing I wanted to say really quickly is, and I've said it a million times tonight because I'm passionate about this piece, and that is that no matter what it is that you fear, I want you to understand how important it is never to give up in this process, never to quit under any circumstances. I want to drop real quick in the chat. This is an affirmation that I give to all my clients because I understand that the road ahead is not always the most simple, but it is possible. And that is divine intelligence knows our need, knows where the right house is, and knows how to manifest it to us at the right time and at the perfect price. Such an amazing affirmation. Snatch that, put it on your screen, send it to yourself as a text message to read in your calendar at 9:00 every day. Whatever it takes to continue to recite this message in your mind, until you build in your whole heart and soul that it is your turn to own. Thank you all, and God bless you.
I love it. I love it. Listen, good night, everybody. Please follow My Turn to Own Instagram page. I think it's My Turn to Own Shy, and also my personal Instagram page, Don Davis Chicago. Until the next Wednesday, you all be safe. Have a great night and take care.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Good night. Thank you for the call, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, thank you, Miss Deborah. Thank you, Miss Wheatley. Thank you, Miss Marty. Thank you, Dontas Davis, for all that excellent information. We appreciate it. Until next